D, wait for it, Delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds, and welcome to my week in review, where I come to you every Sunday with 3 entertainment stories that I personally find interesting, and then we discuss them down below. Now, also down below, you can find the articles that I read to bring you these stories, and you can go and read them for yourself or whatnot, or you can just watch this video where I break them all down for you, and then we, you go about your day. Now, before I get started, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we always get shoved to the back of the line. So I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. So now why don't we go ahead and get started? So for my first story of this week, it looks like the Gotham Knights pilot TV show for the CW has cast a bunch of people this week. Now, we'll go over all of that in just 1 minute and everything, but I just want to say that this is nothing to do with the Gotham Knights video game that's being released this year with the same name. I think that this personally will hurt the video game because people will associate this show with that game. And the reason I say that is because this is from the Batwoman writers, Natalie Abrams, James Stoker, who cares, and Chad Fivesh. And if you watch this channel, you know that Batwoman is utter garbage, and there's no way that these people are writing a good a good show, because they're just going to add their identity politics in it. And I have the opinion that politics ruins everything. So I don't think this show is going to be good. Batwoman is like I said, it's complete trash. So there's no way this is going to be good, this dumpster fire. But let's take a look at this cast, huh? So, but before we do that, let's take a look at the plot. So it takes place in the wake of Bruce Wayne's murder. Can't even have Bruce Wayne there. His rebellious adopted son, which we'll talk about in a minute, forges an unlikely alliance with the children of Batman's enemies when they are all framed for killing the Cape Crusader. And as the city's most wanted criminals, this renegade band of misfits must fight to clear their names. But in a Gotham with no Dark Knight to protect it, the city descends into the most dangerous it's ever been. However, hope comes from the most unexpected of places, as this team of mismatched fugitives will become its next generation of saviors, known as the Gotham Knights. Now, that's pretty much the video game and everything in a nutshell. But I don't think the game has the villains, the children of the villains and everything, but it does have, Robin, Batgirl, Nightwing, and all that stuff. Yeah, this is almost like Batwoman season 3 with all of the Bat villain, and I talked about this in my episodic reviews and everything. I have to do a season 3 review still, and that's going to take forever. Okay, so in Batwoman season 3, Batman's villains, their toys all got out, their little weapons and stuff. And they had like a 2.0 version of the villains, which I thought was a decent idea. I thought it was a solid idea. I thought it could have worked. I was like, let's see where they go here. And true to form, the execution of this idea was pure crap. And I think that this show is going to have the same effect. I think that it's a solid idea to have, the children of Batman's enemies, come into play here. I just don't think that they're going to be able to pull it off, because these 3 wrote Batwoman, and like I said before, Batwoman is just a complete abortion, if you ask me. So I don't think it's going to be any good. I really don't. So who did they cast? Well, they first cast Fallon Smythe as Harper Rowe, which I'll talk about Harper Rowe in just a second, everything. But it is they described her as a streetwise acerbic, and often, I don't know what that means, and often underestimated. This blue-haired bisexual, of course she is a gifted engineer who can fix anything. But what Harper wants most of all is to repair the broken lives of her and her brother, Colin, the only person she trusts. Bluebird in the comics, this is Bluebird in the comics and everything, which is an okay character. And she's an electrical and mechanical engineering savant in the comic books. She has acrobatics. She knows acrobatics, marksmanship because she has a gun, pew pew, advanced hand-to-hand combat, and expert kickboxer. Now she is in the comic books and everything, which I mean, she's an okay character. She's not really like my cup of tea. Like every time she shows up, I'm like, all right, whatever, and everything. I do think that they just picked this character because she's bisexual. The way the rest of this is going is all identity politics. So yeah, so I mean, it doesn't surprise me there. Now the next one they did is Tyler DiChiara. I don't know, it doesn't matter, as Colin Rowe. And after years of hiding his true self from an abusive parent, the transgender teen is tired of being polite and agreeable. Clever and adept at reading human nature, Colin is ready to fight his own battles. Now, in the comic books, both of these characters, they come from an abusive home and everything. But of course they have a transgender character in here because, you know, like I said before, if you watch Batwoman, it's all identity politics. There's no substance whatsoever. And I have a really huge feeling about this show that it's going to be nothing but lectures every episode. Next is Oscar Morgan, and he will be playing Turner Hayes, whom Bruce Wayne adopted following the murder of Turner's biological parents. Resilient and determined to live up to his adopted father's name, Turner has never felt comfortable in Bruce's world of wealth and privilege. There you go. Again, this is an original character to the show, unless he's newer to the comic books. I haven't heard of him in the comic books, this Turner Hayes. And if he is a made-up character, I just go, why are you doing this? Why don't you have a Dick Grayson, a Jason Todd, or one of the other Robins, a Tim Drake, which they do, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I just go, I don't understand why you wouldn't do that and everything. The next one is Olivia Rose Keegan, who is going to be playing Duella, the unpredictable daughter of the most dangerous man in Gotham, Joker. Born in Arkham Asylum and above all a survivor, Duella is also a brutal fighter and skilled thief. Now, in the comic books, Duella is a psycho, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have her be an anti-hero or an anti-villain, because they can't have true villains in this show. Just look at Batwoman with Alice. Alice had to be redeemed. There's always a redemption arc with these villains, and I just go, why can't you just have a bad guy? Like, come on. Next is Navia Robinson. And she's going to be paying Carrie Kelly. Now, they race swapped this one. And I tell you right now, Hollywood really hates the gingers because they keep swapping out these gingers for any race but white people. I'll tell you that. Every time there's a ginger role, it's not a ginger. I'll tell you that. I really, for a small minute there, I was all like, oh, no, this can't be real. This is just nonsense. But no, it's real. Like, they really do hate gingers. Anyways, an idealistic teenager who talked her way into being Batman's unlikely sidekick, she's the first to rush into the dangerous situation as long as she can make it home by curfew. And so in the comic books, she becomes the new Robin in The Dark Knight Returns when she saves Batman. And then later in The Dark Knight Strikes Again, she becomes she takes on the identity of Catgirl. And then in The Dark Knight 3, which is called The Dark Knight 3, The Master Race, she then adopts the identity of Batwoman. And she is the first full-time female Robin in the history of the Batman franchise. Now, I personally don't like this Robin, Carrie Kelly. I thought her character was annoying in the comic books, and I didn't like her. But again, they're race swapping this. I don't know any of these actors, what they've been in. I was going to look it up, but I was like, there's so many of them, and this is already taking too long to describe all of this. But I have to say this. This show is going to be dog shit. I'll tell you that right now, because like I said before, these writers wrote Batwoman. That show is complete garbage. Ratings you can tell by ratings that it's garbage. The only people that like this show are Twitter sycophants. It's just, yeah, it's bad. It's no good. It's no good. This is going to be no good. But they'll make a show out of it because they need to launder money somehow. And this was a good idea that they just let inept people get a hold of, and it's just going to be full of identity politics. Like I said before, it's going to be a lecture every single episode. Of course, you have a transgender actor playing a transgender character. This character is not transgender in the comic books. And, and that's what I have a problem with these days. And Ian McKellen said it best. Why can't this transgender actor just play a man? Are they not an actor? Like, why does your real life have to be put into a TV show? That's not acting. A gay person should be able to play a straight person. And like Ian McKellen said, it's fascinating to explore the world of heterosexuality, and the same vice versa. This transgender actor, okay, they're a transgender man. Why don't you play the part, as just a man and see how that goes? Kind of just research and dive into that psyche and just see what it's all about, kind of thing. I think that's way more interesting than how they're going, kind of like how Titans did season 2. There was a transgender actor that played a man on that show, and Chala was his last name, and I thought he did great. One of the best characters in the season. And I really, they spoilers for those who haven't seen, they killed off that character, and I thought it was a bad choice. But yeah, this show is going to be dog shit. It's going to be pure crap. I'm going to watch it because Batwoman's not coming back. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure it's not coming back. So I need a new show to cover in its place. Why not Gotham Knights? All right, so that's my first story of the week. Took a little bit longer than I wanted to. So for my second story of the week, the Blue Beetle movie has added Bruna Marquezine. I don't know how to say her last name. Belissa Escobedo, and Henry Guillén to the cast. I know I messed up their names. Sorry. I don't care. Get mad. I don't care. Names are hard sometimes. Anyways, now these are all supporting characters that they've done. Now this was originally supposed to be an HBO Max original movie and everything, but now it's getting a theatrical release, which I don't think is a good idea. I have this later on in my notes, but I'll say it now. I think that this should have stayed on HBO Max because this will not make money. As far as Blue Beetle goes, I'm buying up Blue Beetle comic books right now so I can learn more about the character. But most of the stuff I know about Blue Beetle is from Young Justice. Other than that, I have some Teen Titans comic books that have Blue Beetle in it, but I think giving a theatrical release is just a bad idea. I don't think it's going to make any money. Gen Zers, they may know Blue Beetle from I believe the Batman Beyond show or Batman the Brave and Bold or whatever, but Gen Zers don't pay money for anything, so I don't think this is going to make any money. And yeah, so they join Zolo Maradino. I don't know how to say his name either. As the lead role is Jaime Reyes, and he is on Cobra Kai on Netflix. It was on YouTube, but now it's on Netflix. I've never watched that show, Cobra Kai, and everybody I talk to says that show's great, and this kid is a good actor, so I trust that. And we'll see how he does. Listen, I will be watching this movie, but I still don't think it's going to do that good. Now let's get to the actors and who they've cast them as. Now, Bruna Marquezine, I think that's Marquezine. She will be playing Penny, and Penny is the female lead and Reyes' love interest. I don't know if this is a comic book character because I haven't like I said I bought some Blue Beetle. I'm gonna try to get to the comic book shop and see if they have any more. If they don't, I'm gonna have to order it online. But see about this Blue Beetle character and try to read some comic books, get into the whole world of Blue Beetle. Next is Belissa Escobedo. I hope I said that right. And she will be playing Milagros Reyes, Jaime's younger sister. If you don't know her, she's from the show Sex Appeal and American Horror Stories. I haven't seen either one of those. Not interested. And then last is Harvey Guillén. And he is currently his character is currently being kept under wraps. And he is from What We Do in the Shadows, and then recently Reacher. I've started watching that show, very good, on Amazon Prime. And he plays the guy that examines the body examiner guy. I don't remember what those are called off the top of my head. He was also in Werewolf in This House with Us. I don't remember the name of that movie. I should have mentioned it, but I only know him from Reacher. I can't. What We Do in the Shadows, I don't watch that show, so I don't know him from there. But he does a good job on Reacher, so good for him. With them keeping his character under wraps, it makes me think he's playing the villain. That's what I always think when they keep actors' characters under wraps on movies and TV shows. I'm like, oh, they're playing the villain. That's why they don't want to tell you what villain he's playing. They want to keep it a secret. So they haven't told us, but we'll see. And good for these people. I'm super happy for them. Now, this is being directed by Angel Manuel Soto. And this is being written by Gareth Dutton Alcocer. Anyways, and this has a release date of August 18th, 2023. So we got a little bit of time to go, and this will take time to do, because with this character, I'm pretty sure it's pretty visual effects heavy, especially with Blue Beetle. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to make Blue Beetle the new Cyborg with the whole Ray Fisher situation. I think that they're trying to replace Cyborg with Blue Beetle, which I think is a horrible replacement, because they're kind of the same. The technology is just different. And he's not a cyborg. It's just a scarab on his back and everything. Anyway, so the film will focus on Mara Kenna's, the actor, his take on Reyes, who was introduced back in 2006's Infinity Crisis. The Mexican-American teen was actually the third character to take up the mantle of the Blue Beetle after Dan Garrett and Ted Kord, although he's arguably eclipsed both in popularity since. And I would agree with that. I think that when people think Blue Beetle, they automatically think of this character and not Ted Kord or Dan Garrett. So, good for these actors. I wish them nothing for the best. I will be watching this movie. Like I said before, though, I don't think that a theatrical release was the best option, but I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope they succeed, because I love DC comic books, and I just love DC movies. We'll see where they go, with the DCEU and all that stuff. So that's my second story of the week. So for my third and final story of this week, getting to it, Austin Butler is in negotiations to play Feyd-Rautha in Dune Part 2. And Florence Pugh is also in negotiations to play Princess Aurelian. I don't know how to say her name. Which I think is great. Now, they both joined the all-star ensemble with Timothée Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Zendaya, and Josh Brolin expected to reprise their roles in the sequel. And then also director, producer, and co-screenwriter Denis Villeneuve is also returning to direct/write all that stuff. Now, Austin Butler is set to play Elvis in the upcoming movie with the same name, directed by Baz Luhrmann, which Austin Butler, he was in that movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and he played the character of Tex, which I kind of remember that character. Other than that, I mean, I don't really know Austin Butler's work. But good for him. If he gets this, good for him. He looks, the part. He looks great and everything as far as Feyd-Rautha goes. Now, who is Feyd-Rautha? In the novel, he is the younger nephew and the heir to Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, and is depicted to be as similarly cruel, treacherous, and cunning as his uncle. Now, there's been different versions of this in the movie, the 1980s movie, and then the miniseries that was done on the Sci-Fi Channel. Both of them were done pretty good. This is a great character. Now, I think it was a mistake to not have him in the first movie. But of course, I don't make those decisions. So, but I also personally don't think that this character, I personally don't like this character because he's such a dick in the book and everything. And he's not somebody I relate to because he's so manipulative and such a jerk, but he's still a great character. I would suggest going to read Dune. When I read Dune for the first time, and I've said this many times, you can check out my review for that and everything. But when I first read it, I was 16 or 17. I was a junior in high school, and I just loved this book. And like I said, Feyd-Rautha was not a character I connected with Paul Atreides very much so. But he is such a good villain. He's so good. I think that, like I said, I think they really should have introduced him in the first movie, just because I think that would have been better, even if they just had him like they did with Dave Bautista's character in there. But now Florence Pugh, who I love Florence Pugh. She's fantastic. She's just great. Great actress. Can't get enough of her. She's playing Princess Aurelian. And she is who is she? She's the oldest daughter of the 81st Padishah Emperor Saddam Carino the Fourth, or the 8th, sorry, or the 4th. Yeah, no, the 4th. And she's a Bene Gesserit with a hidden rank. She was also the wife in title only of the Emperor Paul Atreides. Spoiler alert. Sorry, guys. He does become emperor. And she becomes his wife. But she's kind of like how Lady Jessica was. She wasn't his wife. She was just, okay, so he's in love with Zendaya's character, but he marries this the princess because he needs to, kind of thing. And she's an important historian who chronicles the events of Paul's rising to the imperial throne through the series in the books. She does a good job in there. Now, I also think it was a mistake not to have this character in the first Dune movie. I think that and I said this in my review, I think that they should have had that huge exposition dump like they did in that 1980s movie. Like the first 10, 15 minutes is just exposition. And I thought that the first movie, or the first Dune movie by Denis Villeneuve, really could have been helped a little bit more if they had done that. I think that not doing that, people that have not read the books, I think, were asking a lot of questions. I know some people, I've heard some people, and some people say to me personally, like, you could tell what was going on. I was like, no, you couldn't. I was like, I'm sorry, if you didn't read the books, you couldn't tell what was going on. So stop playing like you Googled that shit. Okay, stop acting like you're a Dune expert all of a sudden. They did end that movie. I thought he was gonna I thought they were gonna end that where he was like drinking the water of life, or the life water. Anyways. But yeah, no, this is great. Good for Austin Butler and Florence Pugh. I hope they get the roles, because they will do nothing but elevate that movie. I think this is just coming together so good. I can't wait for that second movie. It's gonna be fantastic. I think the first movie was fantastic. I think this one's gonna be fantastic as well. All right, you guys. So those are my 3 stories of this week. Tell me, what do you guys think about this? How do you feel about the casting for Gotham Knights with these 5 actors. Do you think these are good choices? Do you think this show is going to be good? It's not going to be good. Do you think it's going to be good? Are you going to watch it? Are you excited for it? Are you like me and you have reservations because of the writers of this show? And how do you feel about all these actors and everything? Tell me, how do you feel about this casting for the Blue Beetle movie? Do you think these are good actors for these roles? Who do you think the Harvey Guillén guy is playing? Do you think, like me, he's playing the villain and they're just keeping that hush hush? Or do you think he's playing, just a minor character like these other two, the female romance and then his sister? And then how do you feel about Austin Butler and Florence Pugh in negotiations? But it's probably, a sealed deal. They just need to sign on the dotted line and work out all the other stuff. How do you feel about them being in Dune Part 2? Is this something that excites you? Are you huge fans of these two? Like I said before, I don't really know Austin Butler. I have nothing against him. I don't really know him, but Florence Pugh, I love her. I can't get enough of her. She's fantastic all around. I love her so much. She's great. Or do you think that this was a misstep casting wise? I mean, I don't know. You may not like these 2 actors. You never know. But tell me what you think. You can go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week on my week in review. You guys have a good week. Bye. Hey nerds, if you like this video, go ahead and click that Geek What icon and subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and join me every Sunday with my week in review.